Hello YouTube, it's Joe the 50 something Dasher with another video here and a special video here. In this video I want to go over some things for if you're a brand new Dasher, like you either haven't signed up yet or you're about to sign up, and just some things that I've talked about in some of my past videos and a couple things I haven't talked about yet. But in this video, I want to give some different tips and things to think about for if you're becoming a brand new Dasher in 2024. Now, I'm not going to go over like the specific nuts and bolts of like how to accept an order and how to like the steps of actually like accepting orders and delivering the orders and all that kind of thing. Though a lot of that's kind of self-explanatory in the app once you start dashing. The on-screen instructions are pretty straightforward, easy to follow, and guides you along. So that's not the type of thing I'm going to get into here. These are all kinds of other things to kind of consider, and some of these things are things that I wish I would have known about when I first signed up that I could have started right away. First of all, starting with the registration, it's pretty easy to sign up. You know, you just download the DoorDash app, and you know they start the process that you want to be a new Dasher. There's a little bit of an application process. It was all, for me. It was all pretty much straightforward. Just filling in, you know, personal information about your vehicle. They take like pictures of your face, a profile picture, and do a background check that I think says that it can take like 2 or 3 business days or whatever it says, but I think mine was completed in just a matter of minutes, and that's the way it is for a lot of other dashers as well. It goes by like really quick, and then all of a sudden you're activated. One thing that I did from the beginning, and I would recommend doing this as well, is to sign up for emails from DoorDash. There's different, like, I get regular emails, newsletters, offers, things like that, and I read through those. A lot of times, different news changes that's coming in your area with regards to dashing, and also the different offers that they have for the DoorDash store where you can purchase the gear and all like hot bags and t-shirts and different DoorDash apparel and gear and stuff like that, merchandise. They'll regularly send out coupons that you can use at that store. So that's something that I would recommend. You should get, upon signing up, you'll get a like a welcome kit that has your first hot bag and also a red card in the mail. And I'll talk more about the red card here in a second, but so that'll get you started with your deliveries, and then from there you'll of course I would recommend just starting off just with that one hot bag. Do some initial deliveries or whatever, see what you think, and then if this is something that you want to continue doing, then at that point maybe look into getting some more bags and stuff like that, and I'll talk about that here shortly. This next thing is, in my opinion, this is very important. Okay, so in the very beginning, when you're first signing up, have in mind what types of orders that you're going to be wanting to do as a dasher. You want to make sure like there's basically a few different types. There's your food deliveries, and within that there's a type of food delivery called a certain feature called cash on delivery. There's those type of orders. There's also your shopping orders, where you go to the stores, like a grocery store, whatever, dollar store, places like that, pharmacies, and you shop for the orders and then deliver it. And within the shopping orders, you have alcohol orders. And also, there's also, you can pick up alcohol from the restaurants as well. But I've never had that kind of order. I've just had where I've bought from, alcohol from the grocery stores or whatever. That's all I've ever seen. But anyway, this is very important. If you know, for instance, upon signing up, that let's just say, for example, that you only want to deliver food orders, that you're not going to be interested in the shopping orders. Well, the various different tests that they have you take, there's these little modules or training sessions, tests, whatever you want to call them. It's kind of like a little training session. Do not take any of those sessions for aspects of the door dashing that you are not interested in doing. That's very important. So, for instance, if you know going into it you only want to deliver food, yeah, I'm not very interested in doing the shopping orders, then there's at least two different training sessions that I took for the shopping, and I took those two little classes, and then I was like certified for the shopping. But if you know you're not interested, don't take those, and then you won't see any shopping orders. And it's the same with the alcohol. When I first signed up, I took the shopping sessions. There was one on alcohol. I took that one. So then now all of a sudden I'm signed up for alcohol orders. And fast forward like about 6 months or so later, I got an email from DoorDash saying that in my state, I could opt out of receiving alcohol orders, and I didn't want to do them anymore. So I tried to opt out, and I haven't been able to. So I followed the instructions to opt out, but I still get those orders, and I've been in contact with support, and it's just been an ongoing issue that I don't know if I'll be able to opt out. So don't take those classes. And when you get the red card, don't activate the red card. Just set it somewhere in a drawer, put it in a safe place or whatever. Hold on to it in case you change your mind later. But don't activate the red card, and then you won't get those orders. Okay, so now you're through all of that, through the getting signed up and taking whichever of the little training sessions you want to take, and now you're ready to do like your first delivery. What I would suggest in your first couple weeks of doing this is pay very close in attention to the instructions. So let's say you get your very first offer ever as a dasher, and it says to go to McDonald's. Okay, well, don't just say, okay, I'm going to accept this offer. Now I go to McDonald's and pick up the food. Until you get used to these different restaurants and everything, a lot of them have different types of instructions, and the restaurants have different ways of doing things. So until you get familiarized with these things, you want to pay close attention to the instructions for each of the pickup places. That's very important, because I know my very first McDonald's, I'm sure a lot of rookie dashers made the same mistake as I did. I got it wasn't my very first order overall, but the first time I got a McDonald's order, I went in there and gave the customer's name, and they said, no, we need the pickup number. And then that's when I look in the instructions, and I just bypass the instructions, and So and even now is somebody that's been doing this for over a year now. I've started in December 2022, closing in on 2,700 lifetime deliveries. And even still, when I see a restaurant that I haven't picked up from before, I always look at those instructions and to see if there's anything that this place does differently that I need to know about. Um, Pay attention to your pickup instructions, and after you pick the order up, definitely pay attention to the customer instructions for sure, because there if you, they'll customer instructions can the customer wants something delivered a certain way. They want you to either knock on the door or don't knock on the door, ring the doorbell or don't. All different kinds of things, and they can be like helpful too. Like if you're pulling up to an apartment complex that's multiple levels of the building, customer might say, I'm on the third floor. And so that's very helpful if you read those instructions and you already know that. So, okay, when I get there, I need to go up to the third floor. So, very, very important that you read the instructions. A lot of dashers will tell you if you go to a restaurant, you're waiting on an order, it's not ready yet. Perfect time to look at your instructions and get familiarized with that. Um, as a brand new dasher, you'll have to schedule all of your dashes in the beginning. Now, with I don't know if DoorDash is still doing this. I imagine they would be, but and they did this with me. I don't think it was right away when I first signed up, but within the first couple weeks or whatever, DoorDash gave me like I'd say it was probably like a week or 2 weeks of the ability to dash anytime, like a top dasher. And so I was brand new, and they gave me that feature for like a week or two so that I could experience what it was like to just be able to dash anytime. And then they, took that option away from me, and and then I had to schedule until I was able to become a top dasher. And for you and your situation, that being able to dash anytime, that may be important for you. It may not be important for you. It's just going to depend on your area, your situation, and a variety of different factors. But I will say that if you are somebody that is going to get into this and it's at the start, it's working out for you, and you want to continue doing this and multiple hours a week and that type of thing, and yeah, I want the ability to dash anytime. Okay, if that's you, then don't make the mistake I made of misunderstanding the requirements for getting on the Top Dasher program. So obviously you can look this up. It's on, you just do a search on the internet and you'll see it, that you need a 4.7 customer rating, at least a 70% acceptance rate, 95% completion rate, 100 deliveries in the last month, and 200 lifetime deliveries, which 200 deliveries might sound like a lot in the beginning, but if you're looking to do this anywhere from let's just say 10 to like in my case 25 to 30 hours a week, it doesn't take long at all to get 200 deliveries. I was last year, I would get 200 to 250 deliveries each month. So now where I made the mistake is this is all based on calendar month. So, so for instance, you need to hit all of this criteria in one calendar month or within a certain calendar month, and then you become a top dasher the following month. So, my case, perfect example, Um, I hit my 200th order. I want to say it was like February 2nd or February 3rd of last year. And I thought, oh, okay. I met all the other criteria. So I thought, okay, now I'm a top dasher. Nope. I did not become a top dasher until March because it goes by like the last day of the month at 11:59 p.m. So I did not. So January 31st at 11:59 p.m. I did not meet all of those criteria. So the month of February, the whole month of February is off the table. So now I have to hit those criteria by the end of, the last day of the month at 11:59 p.m., which I did in February, and so now I'm a top dasher for March. So that's how that works. As far as your equipment, if you get started out, things are working okay or whatever, you're going to be doing this for a little while, and you decide you want more equipment. The two things, okay, so you already have your first hot bag. The two things that I would recommend getting next, if you want to put the money into this and invest into your business, the first thing would be the catering bag, which I think runs about $39 on the DoorDash store. You can use one of those coupons that they'll regularly send you. Use a coupon for like $10 off of that. And you don't even have to get a DoorDash catering bag. You can get some other catering bag off of Amazon or just wherever. It doesn't have to be DoorDash. But now, if you do get a DoorDash catering bag, there's on the checkout page, there's a place for your driver ID. And so I would definitely recommend putting your driver ID number in that box as you're checking out. If you don't know your driver ID, it's really easy to find out. You just get in a chat with DoorDash support, get an agent on there, say, hey, what's my driver ID? And they'll give it to you. It's easy as that. And then that way, DoorDash in the system, they know that you've ordered a catering bag from them. And then in the future, now you could and if you meet, there's other criteria for this as well, but then you could be able to get selected into the large order / catering program, and you've already got your catering bag. And then now I'm mentioning I should clarify here. I'm talking about Top Dasher and everything. These are everything that I'm talking about. This is how things are like in my zone. I know that there's other zones, other parts of the country that it's a little bit of different tiered system. It's that like the gold, silver, platinum tiered system. So I can't speak to that. If you live in a market, you're going to be dashing in a market that has that system, then obviously things are going to be, different where you're at. I'm just speaking to the traditional, like, regular dashers and versus top dasher, or the two-tiered system. Next, I would recommend a pizza bag. And my first pizza bag, and most dashers' first pizza bag, is usually free. So when you get like your first pizza order, it may ask you if you have a pizza bag or not. If you don't have one, I would just honestly just answer it, no, I don't have one. And it'll probably let you just continue to pick up that order anyway. But once you get to the pizza place, ask them if they have any bags that they can give you. A lot of the different pizza places, not all of them, but some of them will keep the like a boxes of the DoorDash pizza bags, and they'll just they'll just give it to you with your first pizza order from there. And that's how I got my first pizza bag. And then that's something else that you can purchase also on the DoorDash store. They have two different kinds of pizza bags on the store, so I would recommend a pizza bag as well. Next, I would, for new dashers, this is also very important. I would recommend keeping track of your numbers, your metrics. Now, I use an Excel spreadsheet. That's what I would recommend, but you could, whatever system works best for you. And I'm sure there's even like various different apps where that'll help you. I've seen advertisements for some of them, and those will help you with your numbers, as keeping track of your numbers as well. Like I said, I use an Excel spreadsheet, and here are like kind of like the main things that I track on my spreadsheet. So like for every dash, I have the date, the number of deliveries. I do the total number of deliveries, not the offers, because you have like stacked orders. So I count the total number each delivery that I made, and then I put the total dash time and the total trip time, and these numbers will be in the DoorDash app. Like all these numbers, once you complete a dash and you go into your earnings, you can click on each of your individual dashes and it'll have all these statistics in there. And then also your pay and your mileage. Dashers probably do the mileage. They probably, there's different ways that people track them. I do from leaving my apartment to when I come home and I'm back at my apartment. The beginning and ending. Some might only like they stop tracking the mileage like at their last delivery point. They don't count those miles from the last delivery point to when they come home. I track from home until I return back home. That's and all those miles driven during that dash. That's how I track it. Now, another tip here as far as tracking mileage, and I didn't know this until just a month or so ago when I went to do my taxes. Well, it was less than a month ago. But anyway, so I started dashing in 2022. I didn't make enough money from this in 2022 to have to mess with taxes last year. So it wasn't until this year when I was filing for 2023. And I do TurboTax on the TurboTax website. And I did not know, I just, for the whole 2023, I calculated my mileage while dashing. Well, when I went to do my taxes, there was also a question on there for the total miles driven on my car for the year, not just dashing, but all the other miles I drove. And I wasn't prepared for that question, and I had to put like an estimate in there. But you, as far as your mileage, track it for the individual dashes, and then also make a note of what your odometer reading was for at the beginning of the year, and because you'll want to keep a track of the mileage for the whole entire year for all miles driven on the vehicle. And then then the next thing I track is the my hourly rates. So I do. You also be a good idea to have or download one of those time to decimal conversion charts. So like if you worked 5 hours and 42 minutes, for example, the chart that okay, 42 minutes is what decimal number, and then that way your total pay, you divide the number of hours with the decimal, and that gives you like your hourly rates for. And I do the total dash time hourly rate, and then my active dash time hourly rate. I don't calculate, me personally, I don't calculate my hourly rates every single dash and every day, but I definitely do it monthly and also for the whole year. See what I did as far as an hourly rate goes. Yeah, you got to know how you're doing out there. Otherwise, how do you know if what you're doing, if it's even, if it's working out for you, or if it's being profitable or not. And then I have additional notes that I keep on my spreadsheet. Just some examples, like if any customers ever give me a cash tip, that's where I keep track of that. If I, for instance, if I dash in another zone, I'll make a note of that. This dash was in such and such zone. Different special events, like for instance, the dash that I did on Super Bowl Sunday, in my notes column, Super Bowl dash. And like mostly I do earn by offer, but there were a few dashes where I did earn by time, so I made a note of that. That on those dashes I was doing earn by time. Okay, so I have like a comments column. Then I also track negative things, aspects of DoorDash as well. And specifically, this is going to be any negative customer ratings that I receive and also contract violations. And if you're unfamiliar with contract violations, there's other videos on you to deal more specifically about that. You can learn about that. And I've done one before, and you can check that out. But so me personally, I was not doing this at the very beginning. It wasn't until a few months after I started dashing that I started doing this. But anytime a customer rates you below 5 stars, like all of a sudden you go look in your ratings tab and some customer just gave you a 1 star. Well, I keep track of that. On my spreadsheet I put the date that I received the 1 star and how many deliveries that I had made when I received that, and then you just track that to now the negative ratings, it falls off after 100 customer ratings, not the deliveries. So when that falls off, then I document that and how many deliveries I was at when that took place, when the rating fell off. And then you can kind of see over time, get an idea for how long you'll have negative customer ratings. I've seen a lot of times before, like on social media, I've seen most dashers have no idea. They just say, "Oh, well, I got a 1 star or a 2 star, and it took forever for it to fall off." Well, I track those things, and I have a general idea when they. For me, it's 600 to 700 deliveries. So if I get a 1 star today, then roughly around 600 to 700 deliveries from now is about the time frame that's going to be falling off. So I know because I track it, and that's how it trends in my area. And then also contract violations. So you get a contract violation, you always want to, there's an option on there to submit a dispute. So you want to submit a dispute and, let them know what actually happened. And if there's any of your supporting evidence or whatever, and submit that. They DoorDash may take it off within a day or two, but if not, then it stays on there on your record for 100 deliveries that you got to make before that falls off. So I keep track of that. I got the contract violation at such and such deliveries, and so I know that 100 deliveries later that falls off. So that is all I have for this video. Different, tips here for to start out. Hopefully this was helpful information. Any questions at all or whatever, comments, questions, concerns, drop a comment below. And if I missed anything, I'll try to make the video better next year or whenever it is that I film another video like this for new dashers. But like I said, these, if what I wanted to try to do is, if I could, I thought to myself, if I could go back, what are some things that I wish I would have known at sign up that would have been really helpful to me? And these were the things right here, that I came up with that I wish I would have known and been able to start doing right from the start. So I hope this all helps. Thanks so much for watching this video. Good luck to you on your dashing. Hope everything goes great. You can make some money. And be safe out there driving. Until next time, thanks again. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Check out my other videos. A lot of good stuff, a lot of information for all things DoorDash. And we will see you at the next video. Thanks again for watching.